You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I got to tell you, I never thought the following words were possible. The Las Vegas Raiders are a bigger mess than I have ever seen them. There is literally more chaos going on behind the scenes than ever before. I made a video a few days ago about who the bleep is in charge. Like, who the mother F is in charge? I mean, who's flying that plane exactly? Do we know? Now, I think everybody assumed that Tom Brady, coming to the Raiders organization was going to provide some structure, to the situation, and it sounds like he's actually added to the chaos. Nobody knows exactly where any decisions are coming from. And now we got a bombshell report that's came out, and it is jaw-dropping, including comments from Maxx Crosby, and it's like, what is going on? What is the hierarchy? What's happening? I've been making Raiders videos for, I guess, a good solid 4 years, something like that. We covered the demise of Josh McDaniels and then the transition over to Antonio Pierce and yada, 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 yada. And I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I thought shit was a mess. Wow. So here we go. This is Raiders Beat. Is Tom Brady running the Raiders or is somebody else? Nobody knows. That's the question everyone is asking as the Raiders head into arguably the most pivotal offseason in franchise history. Okay, one could have said the same thing about last year's. Based on a report from The Athletic's Mike Silver, well, he would know, even the leader of the Raiders locker room hasn't been able to tell who's running the team. Wow. This is Jets level incompetence. I mean, honestly, seriously, this makes the Browns look stable. Quote, after the 2024 season, there were reports that Tom Brady was targeting Ben Johnson as the Raiders' next coach and Matthew Stafford as the Vegas quarterback. Johnson rejected the Raiders' overtures and instead took a job with the Chicago Bears. Yeah, and keep in mind, the Bears had been a train wreck, who just won their first NFC North title since 2018. Talking about this year. Stafford elected to head back to up the lift, continue his run with the Rams. He's a leading MVP candidate for a playoff-bound team. In each case, Brady didn't seem to have a great plan B. Then again, no one is sure exactly how much influence he wielded as the process played out. What role, for example, did Tom Brady play in the decision to hire 73-year-old Pete Carroll to coach a team clearly in need of a protracted rebuild? Who spearheaded the ill-fated move to make Chip Kelly the league's highest-paid offensive coordinator? By the way, he's now dropped all the way to the OC for Northwestern. Or a trade of a third-round pick to the Seattle Seahawks for quarterback Geno Smith. And to give Smith a 2-year, $75 million extension, more than Sam Darnold would have cost. By the way, Tom Brady didn't want Sam Darnold. He's absolutely murdering it with the Seahawks right now. Were those Tom Brady's calls? Did Mark Davis, the primary owner, desperate for Brady's guidance, weigh in? Were first-year general manager John Spytek and Carroll granted the authority to do what they felt was best? Plenty of people who work under Spytek, Carroll, and Davis don't know the answer to these questions. I told you the other day it seemed like John Spytek could potentially be powerless. I mean, doesn't it feel like whoever the coach is going to be, like it's going to go Mark Davis, Tom Brady, the coach, John Spytek in the middle? What are you there for? College pro scouting, maybe? Well, you drafted Ashton Genty, and holy hell, that didn't go well either. That didn't go well. By the way, I saw a report from Pro Football Talk earlier. The Raiders are once again, for the second year in a row, last in the league in rushing. Well, I could have told you that was going to happen if you didn't draft a hoss on the offensive line. Similarly, it wasn't clear who made the call to shut down Maxx Crosby last Friday, a move that compelled the aggrieved edge rusher to leave the team's facility in a huff. John Spytek delivered the news, explaining to Maxx Crosby that the Raiders did not want to risk him further exacerbating his left knee injury that will require off-season surgery. Yet, in that moment, Maxx Crosby couldn't be sure whether that eat it, which in conjunction with earlier shutdowns of Miller and Bauer's seasons, obviously aligned with the desire to secure the first pick. By the way, Cam Miller just got yanked off the practice squad by another team. A guy that potentially, I kept hearing the Raiders liked, that Tom Brady really liked. Did it come from Spytek, Davis, Brady, Carroll, wellness coordinator, Alex Guerrero? Wow. Or some or all of the above? The reality of the situation is just about everyone believes Brady is running the show in Vegas, but hasn't been willing to take ownership or public responsibility for the role that has been afforded to him by owner Mark Davis. With Brady rarely in the building, the power vacuum has been filled by a number of key figures in the organization, but that method of operation didn't play out well in 2025. From the outside, it looked like a lot of decisions were made by the head coach. A report from league insider Tony Pauline pointed to two of the biggest organizational decisions last year coming from somewhere in the building other than Spytek. Quote, according to sources, Spytek did not have much say in the hiring of Pete Carroll. He's the general manager. Holy shit. Pauling also said that the Ashton Genty pick in 2025 didn't come from John Spytek's corner of the building. Almost just got up and walked out. According to holding the sixth pick of the 2025 draft, the Raiders selected record-setting running back Ashton Genty of Boise State, a Pete Carroll pick. I'm told there was pushback on the selection, as many in and around the league believed a lineman was the way to go. Defensive tackle Mason Graham was a name that was making the rounds, as he was seen as a replacement for Christian Wilkins, who the team knew they would be without in 2025. The Raiders had no opportunity to draft Graham, as the Browns selected him with the fifth choice. Trying to piece together a little more, former Raiders CEO Amy Trask made comments before Thanksgiving. Quote, there are, of course, on-field problems, but there are a lot of problems off the field behind the scenes. Many people assume that I say behind the scenes I'm referring to Tom Brady, but I'm not. The individual orchestrating Tom's purchase in the Raiders of the limited partnership interest in the Raiders, Jim Gray, has been working to orchestrate a purchase of the interest in the Raiders since Al Davis was alive, and we were in the process of selling a minority interest in the team. We finally orchestrated the purchase, and now he is involved in every aspect, almost every aspect. What? This is having organizational impact not only off the field, but on the field. Pete Carroll is a very good coach, but the problems we're seeing on the field are related to problems that are rampant throughout the organization. They got to fix the off-field, behind-the-scenes issues in order to give Pete Carroll a chance. It's a catastrophe. Holy shit. So Jim Gray is in this? What? Wow. By the way, if I'd have been the Raiders, and look, I understand Ashton Genty is sort of a sexy pick there. You got that many holes, you're not drafting a running back. I would have drafted Armand Mimbu that went to the Jets. By the way, he's been lights out as their right tackle this year. Lights out. The team sucks, but part of that is because of the Justin Fields thing. Geno Smith's been getting mother effing bleeping killed back there. You got to have time to throw the football. The hire of Chip Kelly. My God. Wow. Wow. It's a disaster behind the scene. It sounds to me like Tom Brady's running the ship. Is what it sounds like. So now the hierarchy seems to be Tom Brady, owner Mark Davis, Pete Carroll, and John Spytek. John Spytek sounds like he is the pond scum on the farm animal totem pole of importance. I mean, you are literally, up at the top is like, the T-Rex, and down at the bottom is the pond scum on the farm animal totem pole of life. You low down there. How's it going? I feel terrible for Raiders fans. Jesus. And here's a problem. They're saying Tom Brady's really involved. Okay, if he is really that involved and is pulling the strings, he's got no business working for Fox. For the longest time, I did not have an issue with that. I didn't. I was like, nah, it's all right. It's not that big a deal. Then we all saw the chair lowering scene on Monday Night Football that blew up. But now that I've heard that, no, man, you're going to have to get out of that Fox job. Because if you're that involved, but you're still calling games of other teams, that's a problem. We thought you was a minority owner standing over here somewhere. Nah, you're right in the mix. Swimming around and shit, backstroking. I'm going to tell you two things that I truly believe. Pete Carroll did not forget how to coach, and Geno Smith didn't all of a sudden fall off a cliff. This is much, much bigger issues. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.